So the Simagic Alpha EVO Pro, after 5 months, I think, I thought it'd be a great time to record a video on it because it's just, well, it's been 5 months. How I've been feeling with the wheelbase, whether I'm going to be keeping it on the rig or if I'm looking for something different, or if it's just my general thoughts on using it for that long. Could be useful for some of you guys. And well, that being said, when I did the review of it originally, I often said that I would do a kind of longer term take on it, let's say, to review it again, come back and review my initial thoughts on it and see what's the same, what's changed. And yeah, I'd like to disclose as well, it's probably useful, very useful, that I am a Simagic ambassador, and proudly so. And I'm also a Simagic mega fan. So there's two biases there at play. I plan on negating them by just keeping this very objective. Although it is just a personal user, experiences. So I'm just one guy's thoughts, so don't obviously compare what you want all over the place. Make sure you check out multiple reviewers, Lawrence Desazwa, Boosted Media, some of these really good hardware reviewers out there, and see what they have to say on a product if you want to buy it. Put all those thoughts together and then form up your own thoughts. That's what I would say. Now, that being said, if you are interested in purchasing anything from Simagic, I do have a 3% discount code, so don't want you missing out on value there. And there's also an affiliate link down below that supports the channel at no extra cost to yourself, should you use it. The wheelbase. Bit of context for you guys. I was using the Alpha Mini, then I went to the Alpha EVO, and then I went to the Alpha EVO Pro. So that's my trajectory. Before that was the Fanatec CSL Elite, and before that was the Logitech G29. I'd experienced all of them on iRacing, and each step was incredible. Let me go more recently though, the Alpha U to the Alpha EVO Pro. So when I got this wheelbase about 5-ish months ago, about 6 months ago maybe, actually I think it's 6, yeah. No, I'll just say 5, but when I got this wheelbase, I was kind of worried because I was like, what if I like my Alpha U more? Like, I'll try it, but what if I like the Alpha U more? From the second I put this wheelbase on, that was a non-issue. I personally stuck with it. I know there's some people out there, if they have both of the wheelbases like I do, they would also prefer the Alpha U. These are people who like raw torque, straight up more torque. These same people, and I've heard some of these in reviews you may have as well, have also said, but if a stronger version of this ever does come out, they'll then jump to that. But they do prefer the torque of the Alpha U. So I'm thinking, I'm going from 23 Newton meters down to 18. It's a bit of a regression, isn't it? Absolutely not. Firstly, 18 Newton meters is a wild amount of torque. I probably use about half of it. It is nice having the extra headroom and the extra, dynamic range and the extra fidelity that comes with a higher torque wheelbase, but like 18 is a lot. 18 is perfect for my use case. So naturally I stuck with it. And ever since then, I think, at least speed-wise, I've been getting faster and faster and faster on iRacing. A lot of that now comes down to psychological belief. Feeling a lot more confident, trying new things. But I'm not going to, one thing I won't say is I have to give a little bit of credit to the wheelbase, is that without the wheelbase allowing me to feel what I need to feel to get around the track, sure, I wouldn't have been able to do any of it. So this wheelbase has definitely allowed me to do it. And if anyone has seen my earlier videos or raced with me years ago, you guys will know I am definitely not naturally fast. Absolutely not. So I need all the help I can get from gear. And people always say gear doesn't make you faster, but it definitely doesn't hurt. High quality gear can definitely help you. That being said, there are world champions out there racing on G29. So it goes both ways. Depends on the person. Let me think of some negative stuff though, if any. One thing that happened a while ago that's worth knowing. So we're talking about the past 5 months. There was an issue with updates. Firmware for the wheelbase. So a firmware release came out. I'm not too up to date on this. The Natman, excellent content creator, has a video on it. There was a firmware that came out that kind of made the wheel feel softer. Now, I'm not sure of the exact reason for this. I did hear that the wheelbase is a very, very fast wheelbase. Now, that does sound like a weird flex, but okay. Speed in a wheelbase is what you want. Too much, though, can be a bit of an issue. And what I think Simagic done was they tried to make it easier for the users by just kind of doing an update that softened everything down, but that left some users, kind of like myself as well, I like a raw feeling wheelbase, kind of scratching their heads being like, where's that killer Simagic sharpness that I always like? And no matter how sharp you made it in the settings, it wasn't there, that raw, that knife's edge that some people do like. So the community voiced their concerns, and I think Simagic very promptly released a firmware update that I think everyone was very happy with. So we got probably the most refined version of the Alpha EVO Pro, or the Alpha EVO firmware, released at the minute, and I have to say I'm absolutely loving it. I remember when that firmware update came, I noticed it instantly, and that was very welcome. So no matter how raw or dull you want it, you can achieve that yourself. So if you're getting the wheelbase, let's say now, you've nothing really to worry about in that regard. I think that whole thing is all wrapped up. Naturally, it is a new wheelbase, so there's obviously going to be a lot of updates, so that's cool. The QRA is something unique to this wheelbase range, the quick release adapter, meaning that you can get any wheel you want. I'm using a GSI GXL V2 plugged in directly on the wheelbase, so there's USB pass-through. The cable comes out of the GSI steering wheel. Oh, there was an apex there somewhere. The cable comes directly out of the GSI steering wheel, and it goes into the QRA. So literally cable out, one wrap, two wraps into the adapter, and it actually comes with a little USB-C cable. So if you want to open it up and install it that way you really have like no cables. Personally, I like the cable wrapped around. I think it looks really cool, but that's just me. I'm a bit silly like that. So that means I can just take my wheel off of the wheelbase. I'll show you here. Let's stop the car. I'm really just cruising around. I don't think I'm going to get a wild lap time. And that's it. It's disconnected. Simple. So what I'm going to do is just plug it back in. You'll hear the USB connection sound because of the pass-through. And then it's all synced up again. Lights are working. It receives enough power. These wheels really take a lot of power. That's it. Connected through SimHub. Using Daniel Newman Racing for fancy lights. The QRA allows all that. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty ambitious project, I think, by Simagic to do that. They nailed it. So yeah, really cool, the QRA. I guess the next topic is like the mechanical functioning of it. So, you know, personally, it's made me faster. I'm at like 4K I rating now, but obviously a lot of other things play into that. But there is things of heat. Now, I was just looking online to see what people are saying about it. I haven't noticed much heat issues myself. Most people will know that I live stream a lot, 6, 7, 8 hours, back-to-back races, very high torque. You guys have seen, if you look back on any of my videos, you can see how much torque I'm using, just by the way my hands and my body reacts to it. I've never noticed any excessive heat. There's warmth, but I don't notice hotness. When I had my Alpha Mini, that used to get hot, because I was using like 100% of that just before clipping. I was maxing that out for everything, and I have to say, it's there on the shelf there. I'll never get rid of it. Love that wheelbase. Yeah, it never really failed me. The Alpha U only ever got slightly warm, larger surface area, and I was only using about 45% of its power regularly. And then this, I think, has active cooling inside of it, some sort of fan system, as well as the large surface area, meaning it just doesn't get that hot. So I've not noticed any heat issues, and I really use this wheelbase. When it comes to the ring, I've noticed I'm using this GSI wheel. I can kind of see it, and it is a pretty neat little feature. It's not a game changer, the LED ring on the front, but it is kind of neat, I do have to say. I really wish there was front mounting, but I understand why there can't be, because there is the kind of the up plus philosophy of being able to have external stuff being able to be mounted onto it in the future. And that kind of makes front mounting a little bit tricky, but there is a bracket you can get if you do want a front mount, although I would have loved to see just straight up front mount capabilities. But there is side mounting and mounting underneath it if you want. Power button at the back, which is just great. Little thing. There's a lot of ports on the back of this wheelbase too. As far as how the force feedback feels, it feels lovely. It's strong, it's sharp, it's fast, and it is very, very smooth. So we're talking from the Alpha U. If you were to compare this to the Alpha U and you were to just maybe make them level peg them on torque, because the Alpha U does win on torque. Personally, if I had both these wheelbases and I had to pick one to use for the rest of my life, I would be choosing the Alpha EVO Pro. That's just my own taste. I like the smoothness, the speed of it, the settings. It has a few more settings in Sim Pro than the Alpha U does. A few more fancier settings, such as slew rate. There's all these different things. Gives you more customization in how you want to set up your wheelbase. So for me personally, I'd be sticking to the Alpha EVO Pro. Based off feel, it does beat the Alpha EVO, the Alpha Ultimate for me. Obviously, feel is a very subjective thing, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. And lastly, should you get it? Or, you know, is it worth it? I guess that's always something to consider. I'm not going to go too into that, to be honest. I would suggest you go watch reviews, go look up prices yourself, go check out simagic.com, go check out your local distributors, see what kind of prices they have if you're interested in such wheelbases. You know, have a look around and see what you think. It depends on your budget. It depends on what you're looking for. Is it the right wheelbase for you? Well, if you are someone who's physically strong, I would recommend a high-powered wheelbase. Are you serious in sim racing? Are you going to be doing it in 5 or 6 years? If you get a lower-powered wheelbase, such as a 9 Newton meter or 12 Newton meter, do you think you're going to be upgrading in a year or two? And with that kind of foresight in mind, should you just bite the bullet and get the higher-powered wheelbase now? So, really, that's up to yourself. Is it worth it? Personally, if I was to purchase this wheelbase, I would be very, very, very happy with it. It's enabled me to do things that I've never been able to do in iRacing before. Definitely hasn't held me back in any regard. Settings are very easy to set up. I use this with no filter, 15% slew rate, 15% damper, 20% force feedback detail, 100% wheel rotation speed. Works out super well for me. It gives me a nice raw feeling. Very, very smooth at the same time. A little bit of damper to keep things where they are when it's moving. You know, it works out super well. So yeah, all in all, after 5 months, I haven't noticed too many issues with it. You know, if I was to wiggle the steering wheel up and down here, there's no flex in the shaft whatsoever. There's no flex in the quick release. It uses a very good quick release system. Power wise, I haven't noticed any disconnects, no BS, no trouble like that. It's just done what it said it would do. So very, very simply put. I would love to see other creators and reviewers kind of revise this wheelbase and come back to it, because there has been significant firmware updates done to it. So I'd love to see what they've to say about it. For myself, I'm super, super, super happy with it. No issues. If you guys have it, let people know down below. What do you think? How long have you had it for? But yeah, the Alpha EVO Pro, cool wheelbase. I'll be doing the 10 hours of Petit Le Mans with it. So I'll be putting it through its paces again. I've won the Nords 24 with this wheelbase in a GT4 class. Wasn't quite top split, but still I won. We won with the team. You know, this wheelbase has taken an utter beating from me, and it's still there. So, you know, I can't get too much into the specs of things because I don't fully understand it. I don't have this long list of tick boxes to talk about this and that and that and that. One thing I can say is I've knocked the shit out of it, and it's still going, and I still trust it. So that's the best way I can put it. And the streams are there for proof. So if you guys are interested in this wheelbase, I'd highly recommend it. But like always, go check everywhere, see what fits your needs, look into the ecosystem, see do they have the bits and bobs you need, the pedals, the steering wheels, the shifters, the handbrake, you know, all this kind of stuff. Especially when you're looking at Simagic. You know, a lot of people buy Simagic for the quality, the price, the performance, but also the ecosystem. You know, you want to make sure you're in an ecosystem where all the products are really cohesively working together. So yeah, 5 months on, happy out. If you're looking to buy such a product or any Simagic gear, again, don't forget there's a 3% discount code and affiliate link down below. And yeah, that's it. Now, I'm going to get off this practice server because it's too dark here and it's just dangerous. Best of luck, guys. I'll see you in the next one.